Men don't chase anymore. Men don't chase anymore. Why should they? No, really, tell me, why should they? What's the incentive? What's the incentive? You go with them now, 30 minutes later, they can do full lecture on your anatomy. Why should they? Do y'all remember there was a time in history where before a man could even see your bra strap, he had to marry you? And if he even did it on accident, the whole community had to force him to marry you. At a point, we actually have to start taking accountability as women and saying, you know what, we are part of the problem. We not only relinquished our power, we became so accessible. They chasing each other now because they harder to get for each other.
There is some truth in what she said, other than that pause saying that men are chasing each other, and that's just a fallacy, because women, they just can't figure out why men are not dealing with them anymore. But honestly, just like simps messing up for guys like us, there are 304s out here that mess it up for women like this, who actually have to look in the mirror. And she's done that, and she says clearly we are the problem when we need to, admit when we are the problem. But us chasing each other, that's just gay and goofy. That just comes from women just being baffled by the fact that men will not deal with them. They just can't fathom it, because without men in their world chasing after them, they don't exist.
A man can get married and have kids in his 30s, 40s, and 50s, and there's going to be a lot of women that wake up, look around, and realize there's no opportunities. The party is over, and they're going to die alone. So by the time women get around to getting into a relationship, I don't think it's because they want one. It's because they have to have one, because they're usually past the wall, have a bad attitude, bad habits from trauma, or another man's children before she decides to settle down.
Exactly. And by that time, it's way too late. It's way out of her reach, and she has no other choice but to settle. Deep down, she doesn't want to, but with most of the baggage that women accumulate by the mid 30s to, almost 40 years old, is absolutely ridiculous, and she can get whatever she can get at that time.
Day in the life of a selfish woman. I'm 32 years old with no desire to get married or have children, and people often ask me if I met the right person, would I change my mind? The answer is no, I won't. Not wanting to be a mother has less to do with finding the right person than it does living a life free from avoidable stress. Although the thought of trying to co-parent with a man where I have to shoulder the majority of the emotional and physical labor sounds like a nightmare. No one is immune to life's challenges, but at 32, I finally feel like I'm at a place where I can do what I want, when I want, without answering to anyone, and it feels fucking awesome. Having a child would completely change that, and for what? Being a mother is really hard, and I don't want to work hard. The idea of hard work has been glamorized by the institutions and people, mainly men, that benefit from a woman's labor the most, so I'll gladly take the easy way out if it means I don't have to stress about raising a child in a broken system that only rewards the smallest subset of the population if they fit neatly into a mold. And even then, what's really the reward? Most people don't have the privilege of self-actualization because they're forced to live paycheck to paycheck, grinding away at unfulfilling jobs for just a few weeks of freedom a year, if they're lucky. If I ever do choose to partner again, that person will share the sentiment that being a selfish woman isn't a flaw. It's a conscious rejection of the societal expectation that women must sacrifice themselves for others to be worthy or valuable, and being selfish is a wonderful thing a woman can be.
They always say this now, but sometime within the next 6 months or by the end of the year, they'll be crying and singing a whole different tune. And the reason why most of these women don't even want relationships or claim that they don't want relationships is because they're completely brainwashed by the sisterhood and what's being told to them, because women eat up the propaganda, like a burger. And what it really is, it comes down to, is she has not met the right guy. And once a woman meets the right guy and she's like, this is my guy, all that shit goes out the window. But she's cooked for the most part, and she'll be crying about this later on.
Isn't it kind of ironic when an ex blocks you on Instagram and you're like, oh, wait, so you are capable of blocking your ex-girlfriends on Instagram? T.
What?
I don't care what anyone says, men and women cannot be friends. They just can't. They can't. And if you're like, no, they can. Me and my best friend have been friends for ages. Yeah, that's because that's either a 1 in a million friendship, or you're just not pretty enough. I'm sorry. It is the truth though. Why is it that every time I think I have successfully made a guy friend that I can share my life experiences with and I can have there for me, they confess their love?
Yeah, confessing that love, all right. That love for that box that they want to test out. That's what they in love with, and that's what they confessing for.
I can't. I genuinely cannot. I can't deal with this anymore. I was planning to be your friend for years, but now you ruined it. Why'd you have to ruin it? Do relationships last? No, they don't. So why are you ruining our friendship? Just because we're friends doesn't mean that I don't love you, bro. Why do you have to make it romantic?
Don't ask no dumbass questions.
It's simple. The reason why he made it romantic, because women, they get more utility out of men without the sex, but men don't get any type of utility out of women unless they're having sex with them. That's why every situation with these guys must be romantic, so they can get fulfilled on their end. You can get fulfilled without the sex because it's lower on the totem pole for women, but the sex is tied to the looks, tied to attraction, and that's what men go off of. But notice how she says, I was going to be friends with you for years. But that means that she just wanted to benefit from, you know, your masculinity, you being there for her, and women try to extract that without giving up the sex. It's crazy, bro. Their strategy is mad wild. But men, we don't do that. If we had all these women that are friends, we're going to be smashing these women. They're not even going to be our friends. They're going to be women that we're just smashing on. But for women, they can keep all these male friends and extract easily.
I was going to tell me you can look people up on ChatGPT. You can literally AI him. So ladies, the day stalking Instagram is over. No more rifling through like this tagged and like all that stuff.
Stop it. Get some help.
Why aren't you dating? Why aren't you out meeting people? Well, because I am stuck in a town where everybody has kind of been with everybody. So I don't really want to join in on the love triangle that is going on around here.
That's a lie, and that's also cope and a code for something. I think what she means to say, without saying it because it's embarrassing, is that she's over the hill, she slammed into the wall. I hear children in the background, so that gives me the impression she has a baby father or she was married to that guy, and she's just stuck in this tiny town, which actually translates to, I'm not attractive enough and I don't hold enough value to get flued out by the ballers in Miami or in Los Angeles, Texas, etc., etc.
I got myself into one before, and so that didn't work out very well, if you can't tell. So also, if I date outside of this town, then I would have to do like a long distance relationship. A lot of people can't do those because I can't really go anywhere. My children's father decided to reside here, so for convenient reasons I moved here as well. So yeah, the dating life is not for me. I'd rather just be alone and enjoy the time that I do have with my children at this age. And I want to end with, being an adult is ghetto. We're in the trenches. It's just ghetto around here.
You're not going to want to hear this because I didn't want to realize it. When girls, I was included in this, I've actually made content on the opposing side that I'm about to advocate for right now, but when girls say that guys shouldn't have social media or they shouldn't post on socials, it's a projection. We know the attention we get from other people when we post, so we're like, why would you be doing that? We know that we waste a lot of time on it looking at things that aren't really productive or just helpful in general, and due to what we know about socials and our own utilization of it, we're like, yeah, no, you shouldn't. And we'll make jokes, I included at one point, like, you should be building a home or like working, but we're claiming that we're using it for entertainment purposes. A lot of us, not some of us, aren't working on here. So if we advocate for us to be able to, unfortunately, then we should stop hating on them for doing the same.
Okay, I like her. I actually like this woman. Like, this is like so transparent that it's almost like I'm absolutely blown away. Like, this cannot be true, but it is. There are modern women that look as attractive as this woman who can simply get a guy based off of this logic alone, and probably already has one. But the simple fact that I see it is just so rare. So yeah, shout out to her. I like her mindset. I like how she just does not apply the double standard. She's not biased. And she's like, hey, if we play this way as women, why not expect men to play the game on their end? Totally true. Shout out to her.
Girl, have you ever thought that maybe, just maybe, your husband is 5'7"? Because the whole thing, like, oh, a dude needs to be over 6 feet and he's got to make over 6 figures and da-da-da-da-da. Do you understand the statistic of that? Like, do you know, I don't even know what the statistic is of that, but it's not a lot of men are over 6 feet and make over 6 figures. Like, your husband might be 2 inches taller than you, but the best man in the entire world. The most caring and protective and loving and generous man. A man who is not afraid to get down on one knee. A man who is not afraid to be a good daddy to some babies. A man who will help you in life. Not a man who is 6'4" and thinks that he is God's gift to fucking earth. Because honestly, us on the internet have made them feel like they are special just because they're tall. Because straight up girl, like that was me for a long time. I was like, no, he needs to look like this, he needs to be like that. And you wanna know what? A lot of those guys have ego. Not that the short guys don't, but let's just put it this way. If something is gonna get to a man's head, it's gonna get to his head. So don't let a man's height block you from finding your fucking husband, bitch.
Oh, now it's they don't give a shit about a guy's height. Oh, okay. Yeah. Now they're going after short kings. Okay, that, like, women will say anything. They've changed their position so many times throughout the years I've been doing this. I'm just not surprised. It went from, you know, leave us alone, you guys are peds, nobody wants to talk to you, why are you looking at us, to where have all the men gone, the guys are not around, to we picked the bear, and now it's we don't care about guys that are over 6 feet. Yeah, okay. Now they're looking for a short king. These women, man, they can't hold a position to save their life.
There's nothing wrong with being a gold digger. Do people really expect women to look for someone without money? Because let's be real, men have been strategic in choosing their partners forever. They want beauty, youth, someone who makes their life easier. But the second a woman says she wants financial security, suddenly she is seen as shallow. As a divorce lawyer, I've seen what happens when women don't make financial stability a priority in choosing their future husband. Love does not pay the bills, and love will not save you when your marriage falls apart. I recently learned what hypergamy means, and it means dating up. Hypergamy is not about being a gold digger. It is about not settling for struggle. It is about making choices that protect your future. Because let's be honest, no woman has ever said, I wish I struggled more in my relationship. And the people who scream the loudest about women being gold diggers are usually the ones who benefit the most from women settling. Choosing financial stability is not the problem, but expecting women to struggle is.
First and foremost, I find it funny because no woman is struggling. She keeps using this word struggling. Women can be divorce attorneys like you used to be in your former profession. And I find it funny that she used to be that a divorce attorney, and she just now found out about the definition of hypergamy. And she pretty much left out that women's hypergamy causes them to monkey branch, break up relationships, and she didn't tell you how many other cases that she's ever worked when she was a former divorce attorney that were initiated by the women. She can leave out really key things, you know, because there's no fault divorce, especially in the United States. But honestly, this woman, like, you guys say you're not going to settle and you shouldn't have to struggle. Well, you're going to have to settle and struggle to get the best guys BBC shoved down your throat, because those guys already have girls. You're going to be nothing but a side piece. Are you going to share a man? Is your pride and your ego going to allow you? Is a sisterhood going to allow you to share a man? Or are they going to say, girl, what you doing sharing that man? You playing the game wrong, sis. It could never be me. Like, what are these women talking about? I'm not going to settle. Okay, most women are out earning you guys, so you guys are gonna have to settle by default. And the type of guys that you want to go for, guess what? Why should they choose you? Dude, this woman went to school. This woman has probably a master's degree in law or something, and she claims to be a former divorce attorney. She should know this. This is crazy. I have no skin in the game in that field, and I can tell certain things, and I can let her know certain things that she don't even know. This is crazy, man. How much more of an education on the opposite sex and so many things that these professionals leave out that the average guy like myself can just snipe from a distance. But anyway, she's delusional, and she's forgetting that women, they don't have the keys to the Mercedes for the rest of their life. Once they turn 30 years old, they're going to have to trade it in. They can't afford it anymore, and they're going to have to eventually drive that Nissan Altima. Anyways, that's the end of the video. You already know where to find me. It's your boy Josh Bounty. Bounty Villains up, Mastodon's down. Let's get it. Let's go. I got to get back to cooking this content. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Like the video on the way out. Comment your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right? I'm out of here, Bounty Villains. Peace.